All right, 3, 2, 1. Here we are in lovely Arizona, but our boy went to Catskill, New York. And we came back with a fucking Winamat. We didn't come back with the deck box, but we fucking got the second top, the boy. And what were we playing?
We were playing the Luna Orcust.
The deck everyone's given up on or just forgotten about?
Yeah, we had it was 9 rounds, 300 players. It ended up capping, and nobody really knew what the deck did, which was surprising because just a few months ago the deck was just everywhere.
Yeah,
So
Jesse Cotton won a UDS with it.
Yeah. So it was nice. Not a lot of people knew what it was, so I was explaining a lot of cards. I actually had the deck all Italian, and then before the event, my buddy Evan had almost everything in English, so I just swapped everything just in case. Because I was in Jersey for a week, for work, and I went to 2 locals out there, and not many people knew what the deck did, so I figured it was just best to just get everything in English. That way, people are going to be reading my cards all day.
And you're sweeping the locals?
Yeah.
You want to shout out those locals?
I only remember one of them was Tier 1 Gaming, or Tier 1 Games. The first locals I went to, I hadn't touched my deck in like a week, and I just got pooped on. And then the second locals, I was doing really well, and I ended up switching to Johannes's build. And it worked really well. It felt nice, and he's been playing the deck a lot. He ended up going, I think, 10-01 at the YCS in Milan. So I just felt comfortable playing something that he's done good with, and he knows the deck. So we'll get into the deck profile.
All right, cool. We'll do shoutouts after.
Yeah. So I started 1 Emerald Bird. I know when the deck was popular, people were starting to cut this card. It's very good. You find yourself opening up with either Yellow Martin or the Trap, and this is just it replaces whatever gets the Martin engrave, which you already want it, and then it's not a cost, so you get Martin's effect off of the Emerald Bird. And then if you are ditching the Trap, Trap then at that point is just live. So 1 Emerald Bird, 2 Martin, and then 3 Chick. She's the dumper of the deck. And then, of course, the 3 Tiger. This card is insane. Soft once per turn, bring it back with Martin, bring it back with Zephyros. It's what makes the deck. I ended up playing this. The list is identical to Johannes, so I believe it's 9 dangers, 3 moth, 2 of the other good, the best ones.
How'd you like the 3 moth?
It was good. My dangers, honestly, were getting sniped all day long, but there were instances where I just needed more dangers in deck because when they were hitting the Jackalope, I was specialing just a level 4 and.
Sorry, we had a power outage. You wanted to summon the 4 from the deck the Jackalope.
So just having the additional 4s in the deck to special off the Jackalope when it did get sniped or when I did ditch it off of the Luna spell was always good. And I would typically side 1 out, when I was going second, just so I didn't see too many of them. So it was an easy side out card. Plus, in the beginning, I see why in his build he doesn't play the Barricade board blocker, and because having these additional dangers, it just adds another different type. And then the one-ofs, I ended up playing, like I said, his exact build. Armageddon Knight, Zephyros. Zephyros self-explanatory. Armageddon Knight, same thing. I would side this out going second, just because I'm already most likely going to see one of the Kleido chicks or anything else that I'd rather just normal summon over it. Don't know if it's correct, but that's what I did and it worked for me. On its own, it's Armageddon Knight, so it's really good. And it's a different name as well, or a different
dark
type,
name.
But yeah. Then 1 of each of the Orcus, and then 1 wand. Didn't miss additionals. My Curious almost always went off. And then when I did open them, it was just even better. I was ending on, either more Orcus Engrave or just a better board overall.
by like opening more, you still wouldn't even want more of them?
No, I never found myself. I think there were times where my Curious did get impermed, but at that point I just play rank 4 deck with my links, so it wasn't terrible just on its own. That's why I like the Luna Orcust variant.
Because it's just a
because
bonus.
of that, yeah. Spells, we got the 3 Perfume. This card is also just amazing. Using that and then dumping it, you just get your turn started so much faster, triggering the dangers, ditching the Orcust when you do end up drawing the Wand or the Nightmare. Just very good. And then there was one instance where I actually used this to dump the Orcust trap, and it just allowed me to get into the Orcust because I already had like either these in hand or...
You mean the Luna trap?
No. Well,
the
Luna
Orcust
trap as well.
The Orcust trap?
The Orcust trap. So then I would just immediately search for whichever Orcust. And because it stops you from special summoning any other thing, at that point I'm just playing just Orcust.
Yeah.
Of course, 3 Tenki. And then the 1-ofs is 1 Foolish and then 1 Babble. Going second, I would generally side out like never this unless I'm playing against Thunder, but like one of these and 1 Goods. Never came up where I just didn't find myself, being able to play. So they were good takeouts. I ended up for the traps. I played Imperms and then the 1-1. Imperm was really good all day. Round 9, I ended up playing against a Sky Striker Orcust, where I was able to just hit his Math Man, and then he ended up just basically passing at that point. Extra to...
So is that 40 cards or
40? 40, yeah, 40 in the main. Perfect number, I feel, is very good. Like seats, played the Azathoth package. I played against, not in the actual tourney, but in locals. Or no, actually it was, I think it was round 1, where my opponent didn't know what these cards were. And so he ended up having like, oh no, it was locals, excuse me. Kid was just getting back into the game, he was playing Sky Striker Orcust, and I just summoned Nyarla. And he didn't know what it was, so I used its effect and everything. And then I ended up making Azathoth when he had like Ding and Skeleton Engrave. So, yeah, it's just, the card's unfair.
That's the reason I play the deck.
It's the only reason why I like playing this deck.
Plus Dweller too.
Yeah, and then this deck, unlike the other Orcust variants, they either can't make Dweller or it's very hard for them to make Dweller. And I feel like Dweller right now is just so good. Between the Sky Striker Orcust, the Sky Striker Draco, just Salamangreat. There's so many decks that rely on the graveyard, and being able to just shut it down, and me blind going into this, and it just like I'm not really getting punished because I still end on like Appaloosa IP, Babel, Tiger, like I just have even if they are able to clear my board, I have a next turn for the most part. The 1 Forstrix, Tornado Dragon, and then the Evil Swarm Nightmare. This is what Johannes or whoever cut for, they cut the barricade for this. I ended up playing against Pendulum in the tournament, and it was just really good. I made that, and he had to like use a lot of resources to get rid of it. And then at that point, he's already behind, so he ends on a mediocre board, and I'm able to just come back and just kill him with it. And then the last exceed is the Ding for the links, 1-1. Never needed more than 1 of this. Definitely not more than 1 of that. Card that makes everything possible is Curious. I played the IP, Appaloosa, the WinCon of the deck really, Unicorn, and then Phoenix. One of my matches I ended up tying. I went into Appaloosa rather than Unicorn, and after the game, it ended up costing me for going into Appaloosa rather than Unicorn. So everything in here was really nice.
And barricade board blocker, how much did it come up?
It did come up a few instances where I just either didn't draw into dangers, or I just wasn't able to get multiple darks on board. Because with barricade, you usually make it with the Azathoth, and then whatever you bring back with Tiger, and then you have a link arrow down. At that point, you can Martin, bounce back Tiger, and then you go into Forstrix. You've got the trap, already. So then you're able to get your 3 that way with Curious, and I honestly thought that was like the easiest way to to get into Curious. But if you think about it, you use a lot of resources because you're using the 2 monsters for the 1 barricade, and then you've got to make this version. It's much nicer, I could say. Side deck, 3 Lancia. That's pretty standard. 2 Pinkertops. It's really good. Called by, I ended up, the difference between my list and Johannes' list is he ended up doing the Utopia package and 3 twins, and I ended up just doing Called by and 2 twins for 2 Hate Trunade. Reasoning behind it was I also played the 3 reboot, so in the trap, heavy decks, I would just put in these guys right here, and then if they did, for whatever reason, Judgment or, chain one of their traps, I was able to reboot it, it sets it, and then Trunade resolves returning it back to hand rather than them getting to keep the trap face up.
The gas combo.
Yeah. I put Hey Trunade in. I played a couple different decks that it was good in. I never saw it. Out of my side, actually, I think the only thing that I really saw against the trap heavy decks was I saw a reboot against Grand Maju. He ended up macroing and I reboot, and then I was just able to kill him from there.
But yeah, Trunade was really, really good in testing.
Yeah. So it was nice, and I'll probably still continue to play, especially if they're playing the Striker variant where they're still setting with cards set. It's nice to just be able to bounce all that stuff back to their hand.
Nice. All right.
And my matchups. So round 1 I played against Pure Orcust. It was 2-1. Round 2 I played against Pendulum. It was 2-1. Played against No Extra Deck Dracos. 2-1. Played against Grand Maju. That was 2-1. Round 5 I ended up playing Altergeist. And then...
that guy got second, right?
Yeah. So he got second. Shout out to him. He was a really nice guy. It was just unfortunate the way we didn't really get too much of a game in, because my game 1 I summoned Chick, dumped Martin, revealed Snake when I had Luna Trap, Nightmare, and something else in hand that I wasn't able to just extend with, and he ends up hitting the Snake, so at that point it's just those 2, and I'm not going to just link those 2 off for a Phoenix for nothing.
Yeah.
So I passed, came back to me, we grinded a little bit, but he was just able to capitalize his board too much, and then game 2 I ended up with full combo. And then he impermed my Galatea, so I wouldn't set the counter trap. And at that point, I just passed turn, of course, and he ends up the extravagance, and then he ends up evenly matched me, and then reveals Faker, so he got that game really quick. Round 6 played against Salad. 7 Grand Maju. Round 8 I played against Striker Orcust. I ended up getting a tie in that game. And then round 9 I played against Pure Orcust.
Nice.
So I ended up 7-1-1. I got 6th place after Swiss, and so it was a good tournament. Shoutouts. Shout out, of course, KGT. My boy Evan.
Yeah.
He's here. He's from here in Phoenix. He's now in Jersey, so the East Coast has him. East Coast, I have nothing bad to say. It was amazing tournament. The locals there was really cool. Players there, they were all really, really nice and supportive. In fact, a couple of them were watching me, do well in the tournament, and they were just cheering me on basically. So it was really cool to see that. You
got to show them how the West Side does it.
Yeah. Welcome to the West Coast. So. No, it was nice. I was glad I was able to travel to the event. And yeah, shout out to Evan, KGT. He hooked me up with room and board, took me to the tournament, drove me, let me sleep. He was a great host, and shout out to the boys out in Sac, and then the locals out here in Arizona where I'm at now. So
nice. Yep. And then don't forget to add us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'll leave a link for KGT. But yeah, this is our normal mat, but yep. Look out for us, boys.
Yep.
All right. Peace.